So, friends, let me remind you that on December the 15th, 2024, two tankers, Volganev 212 and Volganev 239, collided in the Kerch Strait due to a strong storm. Each of them can hold up to 5,000 tons of oil products. Both of these vessels were carrying about 9,000 tons of fuel oil. The collision occurred near Cape Tackle, which is located 20 kilometers southwest of Kerch. Why exactly near Cape Tackle? Because that is where the route of ships to and from the Kerch Strait passes. After a collision between two tankers, Volganev 212 broke into pieces and sank near Cape Tackle. The second vessel, Volganev 239, was damaged and lost control, drifted, and in the evening of the same day, it washed up on the Taman coast near Cape Panaja. The situation with the vessel near the Taman coast is clear. The access roads were cleared to it, along which transport was sent to pump out the remaining fuel oil in the holds, in order to prevent a leak into the sea. From Cape Maley on the Kerch Peninsula, the Taman coast and Cape Panaja itself are clearly visible. That is where the vessel that ran aground is located. The situation with Volganev 212, which sank near the Crimean coast, is more complicated. Directly near Cape Tackle, the sunken ship is not visible, as it broke into pieces, sank, and is now underwater. Closer to us, there are ships at anchor, waiting for their turn to pass through the Kerch Strait under the Crimean Bridge. Technical vessels equipped with devices for working underwater are working at the site of the supposed wreck. At present, it is known from official sources that divers are working on the sunken ship. The main task is to stop the places where fuel oil is released into the open sea. The currents of the Azov Black Sea basin, strengthened by the mouth of the Don in the Taganrog region, direct the masses of water towards the Kerch Strait. The map of the underwater currents of the Black Sea shows that, having reached the Kerch Strait, the underwater currents squeeze out the masses of salt water and direct them along the coast from Kerch to Feodosia, to Sevastopol and Yevpatoria, where emissions of fuel oil have already been recorded. The question arises, where is the fuel oil? Where and how will it move? An important parameter during transportation, pumping and discharge of petroleum products is the freezing point. Taking into account the grade of fuel oil, it ranges from -5 to +42 degrees Celsius and depends on the production technology. As a result of the wreck of two ships, about 9,000 tons of M100 fuel oil, which has a freezing point of -5 degrees, fell into the sea. The fuel oil that was in the holds when it entered the sea was on the surface of the water for some time. Having entered the cold sea water, it began to cool. The water temperature on the surface at that time was about +8 degrees Celsius. The lighter fractions remained on the surface of the sea. The heavier ones, having a density greater than sea water, settled to the bottom. The storm continued for several more days. What remained on the surface washed up on the beaches of Crimea and Kuban. The fuel oil itself, which has settled on the sea bottom, migrates in the water column with the help of underwater currents. It is not visible from the surface. The fact that it was possible to collect on the beaches of the Black Sea region, and will be collected in the future, does not mean anything. With the arrival of spring, and then summer, the temperature in the sea will rise, and therefore the temperature of the fuel oil settled on the bottom will rise too. Gradually, lighter fractions will float up and be carried by currents in unknown directions. What, where and how much, it is difficult to say. We will monitor the situation on the beaches, and inform you about what is happening. Don't miss the next reports. Subscribe to the channel Amazing Crimea, like, write your comments.